I'm on mute. Good morning, DTM Bosco.
Good morning, everybody.
Club.
Hi, thank you. It's been a long time since I've seen some of you.
Shall we go ahead and start, Divya?
Yes, let me start.
Yeah, okay, Ranjani.
Let me start, Sunita.
Yeah, go ahead.
Patriotism comes naturally and voluntarily. We can't teach a child how it should love its mother. Good morning, Toastmasters and guests. I warmly welcome you all for the meeting number 483. On 26th January 2022 will be marked India's 73rd Republic Day. I do believe that being patriotic for the country only on Republic Day and Independence Day is not the true form of patriotism. We all know 2020 was a harsh year due to COVID-19. Many Indians lost their lives and jobs. Schools were closed. No transportation facility were provided to migrant workers and farmers. Hospitals were rushed with patients who were infected by coronavirus. This was the time true patriotism was shown by many people, which included frontline workers. A true patriot is considered to be the backbone of the nation. Patriotism is required for the growth of the nation. With this note, let me start this meeting with Toastmasters mission. We empower individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. There are few ground rules before we begin the meeting. Please be seated in a comfortable area where you have good internet connectivity. I request you all to keep your mobile phones in silent mode or in a switched off. Please don't unmute yourself unless necessary. As a Toastmaster, we don't talk about sex, religion, and politics, so please refrain from discussing these topics. Please use chat to provide feedback. It will be my pleasure if all the members and guests keep your video turned on and use the reaction button to encourage our role takers. With this, I announce this meeting as open and hand over the proceedings of this virtual meeting to our charismatic president, Toastmaster Sunita. Over to Toastmaster Sunita.
Thank you, Ranjani, for that very energetic beginning to the day. Good morning, Bangalore Club.
Morning.
Good morning. 14 years ago.
Good morning.
Good morning. So 14 years ago, when I shifted to Bangalore, I never would have imagined that I would be a Toastmaster or the president of a club. That I would meet with people across the state, across the country, across the world, online in an online format, in real time. That I would be able to share cherished moments with family and friends in a matter of seconds on a phone. But here we are, connected on Zoom, on WhatsApp, on the internet, and the possibilities are endless. Walt Disney famously said, if you can dream it, you can do it. So I hope today's meeting will inspire you to follow a dream and then turn that dream into a plan of action. So on that note, let's begin the meeting with a prayer by Toastmaster Seema. Over to you, Seema. Seema?
ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है। आती है आंधियाँ तो कर उनका खैर मकदम, आती है आंधियाँ तो कर उनका खैर मकदम, तूफान से ही तो लड़ने खुदा ने तुझे गढ़ा है। ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है। सोना है और भी निखरता, अग्नि में तप के सोना है और भी निखरता, दुर्गम को पार करके हिमालय कोई चढ़ाए, लाएगी रंग मेहनत आखिर तुम्हारी एक दिन, लाएगी रंग मेहनत आखिर तुम्हारी एक दिन, होगा विशाल तरवर वो बीज जो पड़ा है। ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है।
Thank you, Seema, for that sharing that wonderful song with us in the morning. It's a wonderful beginning.
Let's believe that our challenges are not bigger. Our God is much more bigger than all the challenges we face, and He will help us throughout the coming week to overcome all the challenges. Thank you. Over to you, President.
Thank you, Seema. Thank you for that wonderful thought. So now let's focus on some felicitations. Before I ask, may I request all of you to keep your videos on, because no one is on spotlight right now. And since we're recording, we'd like to see everyone on screen. So I'd like to inform the club that we started a YLP program on the 16th of Jan with Toastmaster Chandrasekhar as the coordinator and Toastmaster Sulata as the assistant coordinator. So that's one thing to cheer about. Please give them a hand. And today is also the first meeting of our club collaboration program with We Speak Toastmasters Bangalore. Although we have visited their club, this is the first time they're visiting our club, and we'll continue this from Jan till March. So welcome to the members from We Speak Toastmasters, DTM Bosco and Toastmaster Kishore. A very warm welcome. A little bit of history. DTM Bosco was the first provisional governor, if I'm correct, of District 82 when Toastmasters first started in India and Sri Lanka. So we have a historical figure, if I may say so, with us today. So warm welcome to both of you. Yes.
Thank you.
Do we have felicitations from the other members? Anyone would like to share something?
Ma'am, I want to thank.
Yes, Seema, go ahead.
I had yesterday online word relay competition for our students. Around 30 teams were there, and
Okay.
I didn't know from where to get the words. And it was our Toastmaster Yonin and Toastmaster Fiona who helped me within a jiffy. And I could prepare immediately. And it was only because I was connected to Toastmasters with these great personalities that I could conduct it so easily. Thanks to Toastmasters, especially MTM, our family, which is there always when we are in need. Thank you.
Yes, Seema, that sounds very interesting. Maybe they can help you do it for us also in the club.
Of course. Ma'am,
Yeah.
I have asked Sharmila ma'am to conduct it once because she is very good in that.
Okay, great, great. Anyone else would like to share something? Felicitations.
Can I go ahead?
Yes, go ahead, Kavita.
Good morning, Toastmasters. And as Seema said, Bangalore Toastmasters has been a family to us. And I have released my first podcast last term, December 2021. And today I'm going to explain on that. But it's my pleasure, and it is something which I need to share, is that Toastmaster Lizzle and Toastmaster Sharmila were the great backbone behind this show of podcast. Yeah, and thank you for that, Toastmaster Sharmila and Lizzle. And of course, not to miss our president, Toastmaster Sunita. Thank you once again.
Okay. Yes, would anyone? Congratulations,
Yeah,
Kavita,
Sunita,
on that.
can I go ahead?
Yes, yes, Chandra, go ahead.
Good morning, all. You all know that last 5 years I have been taking part in private parties as a singer. I am entertaining the people. Now, a few days back, I have crossed a century. Like now I have conducted about 102 programs
Oh, wow.
for the last 5 years. Thank you.
Okay, great, great, Chandra. I hope you reach 200 pretty soon. Yeah. Anyone else would like to share something? Felicitations? No? All right. Okay, let's welcome some of our guests. We have, if I can see on screen, Elvin. I think, Elvin, this is your second time with us, but please introduce yourself because not everyone has met you.
Good morning, everyone.
morning.
I'm Elvin D'Souza from Bangalore. I stay near Maryhill. I came here for experiencing how the Toastmasters Club is. I have plans to join soon.
Okay.
So let's see. how it goes.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
So we hope you keep attending and the joining happens soon. Yeah, welcome. We have Deepthi. Deepthi, would you like to turn on your video and just introduce yourself? Deepthi, are you with us? Okay, am I missing anyone else? Just a second, on the second screen. Deepthi, are you there? Okay, perhaps.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah.
Hi, this is
Hi.
Deepthi here. So, yeah, the purpose of me joining this meeting today is to, this is my first meeting with Toastmasters. I've always been, wanting to join Toastmasters since I was a student. It's been like 3 years I've graduated, but never got the opportunity when it was offline. But now since it's online, so I thought, why not? Yeah,
Okay.
then I got in touch with Seema, and that's how I'm here today.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. I hope you enjoy the meeting and then stay with us after that. All right, welcome, welcome. Glad to see you. Right, I think we don't have any other guests. All right, fine. So let's go ahead. And let me introduce you to the Toastmaster of the day. You can choose many words starting with the letter D: determined, dynamic, distinctive, or diligent. But I would choose the word for the person in question. The word I would choose would be delightful. She appears everywhere. She knows everyone and she can do everything. Well, almost, at least in the Toastmaster fraternity. And her enthusiasm and her energy inspires me, to say the least. To dream, to create a plan of action, and to make things happen. Ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters and guests, please welcome the Toastmaster of the day, distinguished Toastmaster Divyashree Gatti. Over to you, Divya.
Good morning, everyone. And should I say this, Sunita, you made my day, and you set the right mood for today's meeting. You definitely brought in that smile on my face back. Having said that, good morning to everyone here. I'm glad to see people join in for the meeting, and everybody is here looking forward to something. And exactly this is what happens to us every single day and every single year. If I can put it in a nutshell, all of us whoever it is, whoever we are, is because of what we do, and more importantly, about what we accomplish. We make lists, we make bucket lists, we make wish lists, but people know us not just by the person we are. And people, it's a hard-hitting truth that people recognize us, or people cherish us because of our achievements. And all of us here have achieved something in our lives. But frankly speaking, we also have things that we want to achieve in our life. And somewhere these lists or these accomplishments are yet to be itineraries on our list are yet to become accomplishments. And this meeting is a dedication to that. All those unfulfilled desires that somehow become energized every single year, every single I think somebody needs to be on mute so that I can continue. Every single year, end of every single year, beginning of every single year, we come up with this huge little list that we are going to achieve. And by the 20th of the month, those lists again catch dust, saying that yet another year will come when we can achieve it. So this is for those never have I ever moments that we are going to cherish today throughout this meeting. So throughout this meeting, we are going to play this game. And some of you might have heard this game before. Some of you would have played this game with a glass of wine or any intoxicating liquor. But we are going to give it a spin-off here to this whole theme of never have I ever. Before we start with the first segment, that's a prepared speech segment, I would like to introduce the other functionaries for the day. And firstly, I'd like to call upon the general evaluator, who will go to introduce her tag team. The general evaluator for our day is somebody who has made our club look very beautiful on the digital media. She is somebody who has learned her tricks and made her way through the PR, not only of our club, but also to the district right now. She's somebody whose yummy cakes are a delight to eat. And she says one of the things she has ticked off of her bucket list is to start monetizing her passion towards baking. So here we have our general evaluator for the day, Toastmaster Fiona. Over to you, Fiona.
Thank you, DTM Divya. As the general evaluator for today, I will be responsible for evaluating the entire meeting. I will be doing it in 3 parts. One is to conduct the third session, which is the evaluation session. The second is to coordinate between the tag team, which I will be introducing right now. And also finally to give a quick report of the proceedings of the meeting. Moving ahead, I would like to call upon the timer, Toastmaster Shobha, to quickly let us know what her role is for today. Sorry, the timer, Toastmaster Ashwin. Toastmaster Ashwin, are you here?
Yes, my role is very simple, to help you to tell that you are on time or in time or out of time. So that's my role. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Toastmaster Ashwin. Next, I'd like to call the R counter, Toastmaster Shobha, to briefly introduce her role.
Good morning again. The purpose of the R counter is to note any overused words or filter sounds used as a crutch by anyone or who speaks during meeting. Our counter records overlong pauses, overused words, and filter sounds relied upon too often by all the speakers. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shobha. Now, I'd finally like to call upon the grammarian to introduce her role and the word of the day. Toastmaster Francis Pinto, over to you.
My role as grammarian is the responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers, listen carefully to the language usage. I'll take note of any misuses of English language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it's also my duty to introduce the word for the day. The word for the day, like all the D's used by Sunita before this, is desire. Desire. The word desire means to wish or want something, to feel a desire for something. In sentences, many people desire wealth. He desired her approval more than anything. The apartment has modern amenities, a great location, everything you could desire. Those desiring a more relaxed atmosphere will prefer the pub in a restaurant at a lower level. The formal use, to express a wish for something. The committee desires an immediate answer. This is using desire as a verb, as a transitive verb to long or to hope for. Exhibit or feel a desire for success, knew that all men would want something to achieve. To express a wish, request, they desire an immediate answer. As a noun, it is a conscious impulse towards something that promises enjoyment or satisfaction in attainment of ridding oneself of all desires. It can also be a longing or a craving. Teenagers desire independence. The inexpensive home-built craft that satisfies many people's desire to fly. Something longed for or hoped for. You are my heart's desire. A usually formal request or petition for some action at the desire of 1/5 of those present. Too much desire can affect one's judgment. Desire is usually associated with attachment, and I hope all of you will be attached to the word desire today, and will each and every one of you use the word for the day, desire. Over to the General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Frana, for the in-depth usage, letting us know about how to use the word of the day, which is desire. Back to the TMOD for conducting the rest of the meeting.
Thank you, Fiona. And with this, we start off with the first segment, that's prepared speeches for the guests. For your information, prepared speeches segment is a segment where people come here prepared with a speech of a given duration and a given purpose. And with that objective, the speeches will be delivered and evaluated by specific evaluators. And the first speaker for the day is somebody whom I would like to call the godfather of Toastmasters in this whole Toastmasters fraternity in the whole of India and Sri Lanka, because he is the first district director, or should I say earlier called as district governor of the provincial district of India and Sri Lanka. A few years ago, I had the opportunity of talking to him, and though being the district director for all, played the role of a district director almost 10 years ago, he told me, I realized one thing, that he had not become a distinguished Toastmaster. So he said, I'd like to add the name D against my name, not as a distinguished Toastmaster, but as a dedicated Toastmaster. And with this humble introduction of his, I think every speech of his, what he has ever delivered, I would have gone back and heard that what makes him so unique that he got elected as the unanimous district director back then. After serving his occasion for almost 38 years, currently he is a trained counselor. He does marriage counseling, and also spends his time with his granddaughter Ashwin, that he feels that is an accomplishment for himself. And as a Toastmaster, the most recent accomplishment that he says is of him taking up the role of a sergeant-at-arms. It's like starting a journey all over again. With that, I would like to call upon his specific evaluator, DTM Anita, to give away the objectives. She herself has laurels behind her name, very humble, very gentle, but everybody knows what Anita can do when it comes to a task. A huge fan of her and my mentor, whom I look up to every single time. DTM Anita, before you take over the stage, I'd like to ask you that question, the theme of the day. Never have I ever moment. That what is that one thing that you have never done and you wish you had accomplished in your life?
Okay, thank you, Divya, for that awesome introduction. You made my day. I was all jitters thinking I have to evaluate Toastmaster Bosco. One thing I would say, I have never ever evaluated Bosco, although I've been in the Toastmasters movement for so long, and this is my chance. The other thing I would really like to do at present is go off for a holiday all by myself, where nobody knows me and I know no one.
With that comes my spin-off for this round. I will ask everyone out in the audience who have gone on a solo trip in your lives. Please give me a thumbs up or raise your hands as who has gone on a solo trip. I'm looking for thumbs up here. Anybody has gone on a solo trip by themselves? So I'm seeing Sunita raise her hand, and I'm seeing Lizelle raise his hand, and Evelyn, and even Bosco sir raises hands. So Anita, you know whom to talk to when it comes to traveling alone. You have people around here. With that, please read out the objectives of the speech and hand it over back to me.
Thank you, Divya. I'm not sure which project and pathways Bosco sir is on, but the purpose of his project today is to learn about different communication styles and identify his primary communication style. His time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Toastmaster Bosco.
The DTM Bosco's speech title is What, When and How. What, When and How, DTM Bosco Abraham.
Good morning, everybody. Am I audible?
Very clear, sir. Very clear.
Just to set the record straight, my topic is understanding your communication style. It is a level 2 project. He was an old, feeble, blind hermit sitting under a tree at the edge of the forest and meditating. As he was sitting there amidst the greenery, the chirping of birds, the call of the peacock, the distant roar of a lion, he heard the distinct thud of somebody running. The sound came closer to him, crossed him, and faded away. After some time, he heard another person running and came towards him. He heard the voice loud and clear. "Hey, old man, did you see or hear anybody pass this way?" The old man continued to meditate, showing no signs of having heard anything. That person went away. After some time, he heard yet another person, and this person asked him again, "Excuse me, old man, did you by any chance see or hear anybody pass this way?" The old man remained silent. After some time, yet another person came, and this time the person addressed him. "Excuse me, kind sir, did you by any chance see or hear anybody pass this way?" The hermit replied, "Your Majesty, I heard a thief, your soldier, and your minister just now pass this way." "Thank you very much," said His Majesty the King, and continued following his minister. Distinguished Toastmasters, welcome guests, and my dear friends. How did the hermit who was blind realize that the person he was speaking to was the Majesty, the King? How did he know it was a minister? How did he know it was a soldier? It was basically in the manner of speaking, or perhaps what we call the style of speaking. It is very evident that the manner in which we speak decides so many matters. what we say under circumstances, how we react to statements, the manner in which we react, respond, or resolve to statements or situations would in a very large way help somebody identify what type of a communicator one is. There are essentially 4 types of communication styles which determines one's personality. A person who is decisive, independent, and confident would perhaps say, I would like you to ensure that the job is completed by 4 p.m. today. Please check out on the decisions we took last week. There are many solutions in it. She perhaps is more of a direct communicator. She displays more concerns for results than the relationship that is very necessary for somebody. Her style is more focused, result-oriented, or goal-oriented. She may be perceived as a strong-willed or demanding type of person who always wants to be in control and can get easily frustrated if she depended on somebody else. There are situations when we find people who are sociable, enthusiastic, fun-loving. These are the initiating type of communicators. They may be perceived as someone who talks more than listens. Oh yes, I am aware of this, don't worry. I can get it done. All I need to do is send a message, everybody will respond. I have no doubts, leave it to me. I am aware how it is to be done. Is the way he would speak. He is often looked at as a self-assured, innovative, and persuasive person. He likes to feel accepted and believes in strong relationships. He loves to be praised. He is my type person. He is fast and prefers friendly working environment. The third type of or style of communicator, you will find a lot of people who are calm, approachable, sincere, and gentle. They are more of a supportive type of communicator. I don't see the need to change. We have been doing this for ages and it has stood the test of time, she would say. The supportive type of communicators are one who dislikes change, may appear indecisive, looked at as careful, patient, and has very good listening skills, dependable and loyal. The fourth type is the analytical type of communicator. I hope everything goes as per procedures. Have the assignees had their rehearsals? Please do not waste your time on rambling during your address. This was being said by the district director some years ago. It was a joint event of 2 divisions and the division directors were being told this. I was witness to this and overheard the statements that he made. He seemed clear and precise. He had more of an analytical type of communication style. My dear friends, the fact remains that we speak differently under different circumstances. There is no best style at all in any situation. I did do an analysis of myself. I am more of an initiating and supportive type. Does this change what I am? No, it does not. If you desire to be acknowledged as a person who is awesome as a speaker and remembered, what you speak, when you speak, how you speak decides your personality. Madam Toastmaster.
we all have our own communication style, and with DTM Bosco's speech, we discovered that so much more to discover about ourselves. Thank you for such a different take about communication, DTM Bosco. And to convey your well wishes and your takes about the speech, I would ask all the people present in the audience to give their 2 cents about the speech on the chat window so that the speaker gets his inputs from everyone also. Thank you, everyone. With that, let's move on to the next speaker for the day. And she's somebody who somehow alters the whole meaning of the statement we engineers do. As engineers, being one, I being one, we always heard this saying that we're jack of all trades and master of none. But this lady out here had tried to master more than one trade for sure. If you ask anyone in MTM, she's somebody who is a grammar Nazi. Her English sounds a little Shakespearean. She's somebody who is into psychology. You ask her, have you tried dancing? She's like, yeah, I have a certificate to prove it. Have you tried singing? Oh yes, I have one more certificate to prove it. Any trade that you have around, she has something to prove that she's tried it at least once in her life. With that, I would like to also invite her evaluator, who has his own accomplishments to say about. In Toastmasters, if you have not heard KVM, then you have not heard a lot of things in Toastmasters. He is one of a champion speaker, a district champion in humorous speeches in the year 2013 and 2015. The first literary champion. Does he do anything else in life? Absolutely. After having 15 years of experience in mergers and acquisitions, right now he runs his own firm called Mithya, which is into organizational development using theatrical and storytelling. Can I ask the question to you, KVM, about what is that never have I ever moment in your life?
Okay, never have I ever lived on a city with beautiful beaches, even more beautiful people, and the most beautiful ice cream. So I always imagine myself moving to Bangalore at least for a couple of years. I hope it happens sometime soon.
So everybody apart from you and Bosco will raise their hand saying that we will live in Bangalore, and we'll be happy to have you around here, KVM. And with that, our speaker for the day, I would like to tell about her speech. She is actually rendering a eulogy over here, and her speech is titled, don't want to get it wrong, The Final Chapter to You. The Final Chapter to You, Toastmaster Benzita. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you. My time limit is 3 to 4 minutes. So to the speaker, if you could give me the green at 2 minutes and the yellow at 3 and red at 4. Also, my voice is not that great. So in case you all can't hear, please assume it's emotion in the eulogy. So yeah, thank you so much. Just give me a minute. Yes. Just 1 minute. Yeah, thank you. And we will begin. Our final words might lay in a headstone, but our eternity will always lie in the memories of those lives that each of us has touched. And as we gather here today, it is with solemn serenity that we gather here, remembering one such life and cherishing a life that I'm sure has touched each one of us. Who is this person, you ask? She comes from the prestigious house of Lekana, the darling granddaughter of Kalpana and Saraswati, and the only beloved daughter of Sahitya. I speak of a Granthalaya or a library. As we close the doors on the final standing library in our locality, I definitely believe it is time that we take a few moments to ponder on this library who has lived a life of her own. As we go ahead into the 21st century, with all that the century brings us with its technological advances as well as the convenience that we are granted, let us take time to remember this library for its quiet corners, for the spacious rooms that allowed us for endless pondering, and the many, many memories I am sure each one of y'all have shared with her. I still remember my first time meeting her, how excited I was. It was my 10th birthday, and my mother took to meet her as a birthday gift. And I remember knowing no count to the hours I spent there, lost in her vast collection. My only definite memory is the childish whining I had, for I didn't know why I had to go back home. It had indeed been a journey of many sweet memories, a potpourri of mischievous pranks with her, of going to her at desperate deadlines, and also spending hours together in her peaceful hours. Never one to deny anyone who approaches her, she has welcomed all of us, be it to spend hours reading quietly, or even as a safe space for our hidden tears. She welcomes all the gray-haired young lads and lasses, for yes, young they are to her, because she has stood old, older than time, to spend their lazy afternoons with her. A lover of knowledge and new things, she has sat deep into the night with many an ardent student, helping them with their studies. Old yet updated, she has lived a life of purpose, undeterred. Standing the test of time, her wisdom indeed knew no bounds. For even today, she has seen that as we close these doors on her building, on her final grave, her resources are not lost to us and available to us in different forms. But let us, as beloved students of hers, beloved readers of hers, strive to take on her spirit of providing a safe space with dignity, her love for knowledge and imagination, and most importantly, her magnanimity to keep sharing. So I ask each one of you to lift a book, should you have it near you, and raise it in her honor. You will be missed. You, as a tradition, will be grieved. And I tell you, there shall never come a time where I will not try to find your solace in the pages you left behind. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Benzita, for this wonderful eulogy. And to everyone who don't know her, maybe know a little more about her today. And definitely with passing years, we even we miss some of the people who passed by in our lives. And that's one of the tributes that Benzita has given. To all the people in this group, please make sure that you convey your own message to Benzita about what you felt about the speech. Thank you so much for already giving your feedback and your opinion about Bosco's speech. Please continue doing that for Benzita's speech too. With that, we move on to our next speaker, who is a first timer here because she's going to deliver her icebreaker. That will be Toastmaster Bhavishya for you. When I asked her something about herself, she said she's a good listener. That's one trait I think we all as Toastmasters try to develop, or should I say I joined Toastmasters to do that. She says one of the things that has ticked off from her bucket list is that she had gone on a night trek. From there, let's move on to the person who is going to evaluate her. That's Toastmaster Jyothi Hebbar for you. Jyothi is somebody who is a fitness freak. She might not come across that way, but she's somebody who loves yoga, goes on long walks, and who's a nature lover by nature. With that, I'd like to ask Jyothi to please read out the objectives of Bhavishya's speech.
Thank you. Jyothi, can you switch on your video so that we can see you for a little while? Do you have an issue with the bandwidth? Yeah. Okay. Just for a little while when you're speaking.
Thank you, Divya. Today I'm going to evaluate Toastmaster Bhavishya's icebreaker speech. I'm going to evaluate Bhavishya's speech today. And purpose of this speech is purpose of this project is for the member to introduce himself or herself to the club and learn the basic structure of public speech. And time is 4 to 6 minutes. Over to you, Toastmaster Bhavishya.
Before Bhavishya starts her speech, I'd like to ask Jyothi that one question. What is that never have I ever thing in your life? Something you have not tried and you would like to do it?
There are so many things like that. And first of all, that's what I love, the experience of vastness of nature. I really feel that we can experience vastness of nature only in extremities. Hence, I want to visit Himalayan ranges. I want to see whether those huge snow-cladded mountains, whether they are beginning from the earth or ending on the earth. Like that extremities I want to see. I don't know whether it is possible or not, but I am desiring for that. Thank you, Toastmaster.
And that answers your question, Lizelle. The word of the day is desire. So that's Toastmaster Jyothi's desire. And how many of you have visited the Himalayas? Asking a question to everybody in the audience. Please give me a thumbs up if you have visited the Himalayan range. Anyone here who has visited the Himalayan? Oh, Dipti has. Wow. So has Bosco, sir. So Jyothi, you have people out here who have been there, so you know where to get hang of people if you want to plan your Himalayan trip. With that, let me hand over the virtual stage to Bhavishya. Bhavishya's speech title is Me and My Life Journey. Me and My Life Journey, Toastmaster Bhavishya. All the best.
Thank you. Life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you respond to it, as Charles Pinto. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and the guests. For those who don't know me, my name is Bhavishya. I was born and brought up in coming to my family. We have 4 members in my family, me, my mom, dad, and my sister. My dad is a self-employed, my mom is a homemaker, and my sister is pursuing a degree in St. Aloysius Degree College. As a kid, I was very much pampered. As we all know, when we were kids, we used to imitate people whom we see. And I used to imitate my teacher. After I used to complete my school, I used to come back home, take my mom's shawl, drape it like a sari, wear a heels, sandals, hold a book in one hand and a wooden scale, and I would imitate my teacher. This was my favorite game. This continued for a few years. And then, after a few days, we just shifted to a nuclear family. This was totally a new experience for me because in joint family, we were a lot of people living together. Initially, I was really bored, but I made a lot of new friends around my neighborhood and I used to play all day. And I used to play all the time. Then I remember I had a favorite doll of mine. I still remember it because I still have it. And whenever I see it, I remember my childhood. I used to take care of the doll as my mom used to take care of me. I used to comb its hair. I used to make it to have bath. I used to cut its hair or whatnot. So it's kind of a memorable doll for me because when I look at it, I remember all these moments. I was really happy when my sister was born. I was really possessive about her. I didn't want anyone to touch her or come and see her. I used to tell like, okay, don't come now. She's sleeping in that way. But as days passed by, like other sisters and brothers, even we started fighting. Some fights even seems funny. So always my mom would tell like, since you're the elder one, you should always learn to keep quiet. If she's doing anything, you should know that she's smaller to you. So once when she was going out, she told me that you both should not fight, and if she's fighting, you need to keep quiet. So we initially though we were kind of okay, and then when we wanted to watch TV, we started fighting for the channels. She wanted some other channel, and I wanted some other channel. So we started fighting, and then she had a plate in her hand, and she hit it on my nose. So I got hurt on my nose, and I didn't want, I didn't apply any ointment to that, because I wanted my mom to see that every time she's the one who's the culprit, not me. And I am silent, and whatever she told, I followed. So I just waited for my mom till she comes, and I showed her that, see, this is what she did to me. So this is one of the memory I remember. I completed my primary in Lady Hill English Primary School, my high school in St. Agnes, and I completed my college also from St. Agnes. I did my bachelor's of engineering from Sayadri Engineering College of Management. Currently, I'm working as a software engineer in Accenture. My hobbies are listening to music, playing badminton, traveling. I also like to design clothes, and I cook when I'm free. I also started learning canvas painting this COVID times, that is during the lockdown time. There is always something to learn each day, and communication plays a major role in everyone's life. In office, I was part of the fun team. We would always plan some games to be played during the month. Once had come with a game, two people, including me, were responsible for the game. I had a desire to organize the game very well. When finally it was a day to organize the game, I was so nervous. I couldn't utter a word, as we had to speak spontaneously. The whole credit went to the other girl. I really felt bad. Then I realized that I need to improve my communication skill. That's when I decided that I need to join Toastmasters. We all are not perfect. We have some of the other weakness. Accepting those weaknesses and working on it is one of the greatest thing we can do for ourselves. So that's why I joined Toastmasters, and I feel Toastmasters is the right platform to become more confident, and it will surely provide me a good experience. Thank you.
Let's give a round of applause to Toastmaster Bhavishya. This is her first speech, and she deserves all the appreciation. Thanks for spending such a beautiful speech for us, Bhavishya. We know you a little more today, and please give your opinions of her delivery of her speech and the way she presented of her speech on the chat window. Understanding that she's a newbie, I'm looking forward for many people write to her. With that, thank you, Bhavishya, for your wonderful speech. Moving ahead, we will be having DTM Bosco's evaluation. By the time Anita gets ready with her evaluation, I have a question for all the speakers. Yes, thank you so much for the timer for the day, for giving us the timing for all the three speeches. Bear in mind, there's one more speech by Kavita. We'll be having the voting after that. This is DTM Bosco, Benzita and Bhavishya speech. We are just having Bosco's evaluation before we start off with Kavita's speech. I would like all the speakers to be pinned, please. If all the speakers to be pinned before Anita takes over. Bosco, Benzita, and Bhavishya. Okay. Before I hand it over to Anita, my one little question to Bosco, Bhavishya, and to Benzita. Benzita, are you around? Benzita, is she around?
She's not on video, so I can't pin her, unfortunately.
Benzita, can you switch on your video for a minute? By the time the others give their disclose their never have I ever moment, maybe Benzita can switch on her video. So Bosco, Team Bosco, can you that never have I ever thing in your life right now?
Hello, Toastmasters. I have been to many colleges and given talks, training programs, and seminars. I have never entered a college as a student, and that is that never ever done moment for me.
That's a very, I am out of words right now that you're such a profound person telling me that you've never entered as a student. We'd love to know your journey someday, sir.
Yes.
And I'm sure there are many people who would have felt that we have done this. There are a lot of things we have not done what Bosco sir has, but we have done this bit for sure. Yes, Bhavishya, what is your never have I ever moment?
Never have I ever got a tattoo, so I would like to get a tattoo.
That's a millennial talking. How many of you have a tattoo around? Please, can you give me a thumbs up? Anybody having a tattoo right now? Anybody with a tattoo? Nobody wanted to go through the pain, I believe, because nobody has raised their hands there. So Bhavishya, let us know if you try how a tattoo would feel. Yes, Benzita, your never have I ever moment.
Can you tag Princita because my account is not working?
Yeah, I'll do
Sure.
that.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry.
You can't see her.
Now we have got used to the technical glitches. It's like a easy stage for us right now.
Okay. Right, I've got you there.
Yeah, thank you. The easiest one is never have I ever played, never have I ever online. So thank you, Divyashree, for that. But outside of that, I would say never have I ever met my New Year's goals. So yeah, I'm guessing no one can beat that. But I hope to.
Met their New Year goals. I would love to hear that because you're going to be my go-to person, and so with Benzita's.
You want to know what my New Year's goals are?
No, that will be a long list for sure. We will get there later for sure. I think Bosco sir is waiting for his evaluation. We'll hand it over to Anita, and we'll just do the chit-chatting later, Benzita, on this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Very clear.
Okay. So good morning once again. Toastmaster Bosco with this communication style speech has left us desiring for more. What you speak, how you speak, and when you speak determines your personality. Toastmaster Bosco, you uttered true gems of wisdom on communication. You started with a lovely narration of a story to introduce the various communication styles, and you set your speech with that story on a very high track. The narrative was excellent. You not only conjured pictures in our mind with the imagery, you even gave us sounds for our ears, which was true communication. With the birds chirping, the peacocks calling, the lions roar, and finally the thud, thud, thud. And then you brought in smoothly the transition to the 4 types of communication. I like the way you explained and even demonstrated the 4 types of communication with your voice modulation and with the eye effect and expressions. It was very effective when you give the 4 types of communication. And I even remember you gave an example for one of the styles of communication, a real life example, and that highlighted your speech. Now, communication styles and leadership styles are common speech projects in most pathways.
Yes.
The challenge here lies in making it unique and creative, because for each of us who are delivering the speech, it is easy to take the matter and place it one after the other. But if you want to catch your audience interest and attention, I would suggest you try to bring in your styles in a different way. Perhaps you could actually stand up and demonstrate each style of communication instead of just telling us, this is one style, this is one style, this is one style. Secondly, I felt that the story, although it was so well narrated, has taken up most of your time of your speech. So you were left with a little lesser time to complete a major part of your speech. So if you could have condensed the story to bring in just the important elements and then given, you could have completed your speech at a more comfortable pace. So this is my observation. Great expressions, good presentation, an extreme self-confidence and self-assurance, command over the language, command over the presentation, your expressions are good, your presentation is good, your eye contact is good. With all that on your team, I desire to see you, Toastmaster Bosco, as an accomplished speaker on stage. Over to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, DTM Anita, for your evaluation for Toastmaster Bosco. With that, I stand corrected about the evaluation. There'll be only 3 speakers who will be contesting for the best speaker of the day. That is DTM Bosco, then Toastmaster Benzita, and Toastmaster Bhavishya. Kavita's speech is going to be a presentation, not it will not be part of the evaluation segment. It will not be evaluated and will be not even voted for the best speaker category. So everybody, please vote. The voting link is there on the chat window. Ranjani has already provided the link. Please do vote for the 3. Among the 3 speakers, please vote for the speaker for the day. While you all vote for the day, I would like to introduce the leader or the person who's going to take care of the next segment for the day. And that is our TTM for the day. Our TTM for the day is our VPA. And when I asked her for her introduction, I was a little, I think I felt my age for a moment, because she gave me an introduction which took me a minute to comprehend. So I'm going to read it out to you exactly, because it got me thinking as to what are these jargons which I'm yet to understand and relate to. I would someday desire to have that list of my own. So this is how it read word by word. My Spotify unwrapped desire, my aura as chill and warm, and I aspire to be that in life as well. I love cat videos and stickers, so feel free to send me the best ones. So that is Princita's introduction, word by word. Before I move ahead, Princita, can you tell me that one thing on your never have I ever list?
I guess at this point of life, it will mainly be traveling enough. So I would love to go to Japan at some point, and that's it basically. I'd like to go to Japan.
Japan. Anybody been to Japan here? Anybody traveled to Japan on this group? Looks like there are a lot of travel bees here in TM right now. Himalayas, Japan, and solo trips. That's all on the list right now, on the never have I ever list. I think there are nobody who's been to Japan recently. If you do, please get me some coins from that country. Over to you, Princita, for the table topics.
Thank you. So in keeping with the theme of today, which is never have I ever, and that's something you play with like your friends in high school, or like when you're at parties and like you're just meeting up and stuff. So today's table topics are just a bunch of like silly, easy topics, I think. And like, please feel free to volunteer. I'll just share my screen with the topics. Would anyone like to volunteer for the first one? Can we have a volunteer for the first table topic? Guys.
Shraddha.
Okay, I'll just. Okay, so tell us about the time you realized cockroaches could fly.
Okay, good morning, Toastmasters and my dear guests. Well, the time you realized cockroaches could fly, my childhood, I spent in a very old house, our ancestor house, and we had one attic. No one entered. It used to be closed all the time. And my curiosity got better of me one day, and I entered, and it was like I got shock of my life when I saw that all the cockroaches flying everywhere. And at that moment, I panicked. But if I look back at it, now my son reacts to the cockroach, looking at the cockroach not flying, and screams loudly, bringing the house down. I realized that I got rid of my fear at that time, and I say, you are afraid of cockroach? So if it is a flying dragon, then I understand. But getting afraid of flying cockroach is something I can't imagine. every time my aunt or my co-sister, they scream when they see lizard on the wall. They say, is it going to eat you? So no, I'm not afraid of cockroaches or lizards unless it is snake. That is my nightmare. So flying cockroaches, I would like to be put in his shoes and fly on the wall and look at the world, because they say cockroaches are indispensable. You can't kill cockroach very easily. So I don't know, maybe in my previous birth, I was a cockroach and went to places and explored. So yes, over to you, table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shraddha. We all aspire to be as courageous as you. Okay, so would anyone else like to volunteer? Next speaker. They're all easy topics, guys.
I can
Please.
see my guest Akshita Baliga, who's ready for it. So could you give her a chance, please?
Yeah.
She's my speaker for the podcast today.
Oh, okay, cool. So, okay, so your topic would be, oh, this might not, okay. Is she a member?
Not a member, she's a guest.
Okay, then, okay, this one. Tell us about your relationship with mathematics.
Oh my God, this topic was meant for me. Okay, I was good at all other subjects except mathematics. This is the subject that gave me goosebumps. So I spent most of my time learning maths or trying to solve maths. If I would have given that time to the other subjects, I would have perhaps got 98 or 99 out of 100. But I was putting most of my time in mathematics. And I was living in Mumbai then. And there was one particular sir, and I could understand the way he was teaching maths. Okay, so this is when we had come to this very absurd topics like derivatives and integration, which was very difficult to understand because these were abstract form of maths, according to me. So when it came to ellipse and parabola and hyperbola, I just couldn't understand ye kya bola. Okay, so I used to travel around 2 hours to go to the sir to learn maths. And I completed my study of physics, chemistry, biology, everything in the bus. And I still managed to get around 57 or 60 in mathematics, whereas in all other subjects, it was like above 80. So I somehow felt I wish I could have given more attention to all the other topics, then I would have, my overall percentage would have improved. And after that, I literally pledged that I am not taking any combination that involves maths. Okay, so this was in my 12th, what I just shared about. And after that, I took microbiology, then I took nutrition. So I made sure that it does not have maths, like this engineering version of maths. So simple calculations and all that is okay, but I still recollect this topic and the subject very clearly.
Thank you, Akshita. Like, this is always, you know, you either love maths or you hate it. So this was nice to listen to. Can we have our next speaker? Can you just tell me if someone raises their hands? I can't see.
Would one of our guests like to try, Deepthi or Elvin? You need to switch on your video.
Okay, so Elvin is going up, I guess. Okay, so your topic would be, would you fight a duck-sized gorilla or a gorilla-sized duck?
A duck-sized gorilla would be better, definitely. I mean, relatively size is seen, right? So the smaller the better. Easier to tame also, I guess. Whereas gorilla-sized duck would be a nightmare. Yeah. How, like, should I talk more about the topic, or is
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like the question?
You can say anything about the topic. You can
I
speak.
mean, I can just answer it like one word, right?
You could tell us why, like, more or like anything.
Ducks are cute in general, but then gorillas not so much. So you don't want a huge gorilla walking around, right? Gorilla-sized duck would be a nightmare too. Uh, they'll be just flapping around. Whereas a duck-sized gorilla would be easier to manage, I guess, probably. Who knows? Yeah, thank you.
Great. We'll just put that on the pros and con list of both. Thank you.
Princita, I think we'll have to end the session now because we have to.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Princita, for your take on unique things which are not so easy to talk about, but there are some things which we somehow give a pass away in our lives. With that, I'll ask everybody to vote for the best table topic speaker. So Ranjani has been timing everyone. And Ranjani, if you can tell me whether everybody is qualified for voting so that we can proceed with the voting. If she could just tell us whether they are qualified or not.
And if I could request everyone to switch on their videos, I can take out the photograph while we're doing that.
Absolutely.
Ashwin had done the timing of the speakers. DTM Bosco, 7 minutes 52 seconds. Toastmaster Benzita, 4 minutes 4 seconds. Toastmaster Bhavishya, 4 minutes 37 seconds. Evaluator, I'll let you.
Yeah. No, that's good because you displayed it. Wanted to know the timing of the table topic.
Table topic, I'll tell you now. Shraddha Pai, I just missed, might be within 2 minutes.
1 minute 48 seconds. I had timed it.
Because I didn't know that Ashwin, Toastmaster, was leaving. And Toastmaster Akshata Baliga, she took 2 minutes, 2 seconds. And Elvin, 1 minute, 15 seconds.
Everybody is qualified. If you could prepare this one.
I'll prepare now.
Yeah. Can everyone just switch on their videos? Sorry, Divya. Could we just switch on your videos and give me those nice smiles? Yeah. All right. Seema, Toastmaster Chetan from We Speak Toastmasters. I missed DTM Bosco before you left. Ranjani, you got it. Shraddha, Benzita, could we have you on screen just for a second? 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Benzita, we're waiting for you. Yeah. Toastmaster Chetan and Seema. Jyothi, please. Yes. And yes, we've got everyone on screen. Give me those smiles. Give me those hearts. One more. Thank you. Over to you, Divya.
I think everybody's still smiling. I think we'll give that moment. Yeah, guys, we have done with our pictures. We'll move on to the next segment. And before we move on, we have a special speech, should I say that, on request, because we've been all hearing about podcasts, we're hearing about things that we can do in Toastmasters. But if you're still figuring out how, so there's this next speaker whom we've known for quite some time in Toastmasters. She's a diva here because she tries everything interesting, unique, be it dancing, singing, anything you want to try out new. Kavita is always there around. And so she's here today to talk about this whole concept of podcast. If you ask Kavita, I'm sure everyone knows that Kavita just hit her half century. And if you ask her what is that one thing she has tried new or she's ticked off her bucket list, is to join badminton. So she said it's fun to join something new like badminton. She's been doing this since in her school days, but it's like living back her memories right now and cherishing those in badminton. So with that, I ask her to take over the session. And over to you, Kavita. And we have a guest speaker with her, and that is Akshita Baliga. We've heard her, and we'll hear more from her in the next few minutes.
Thank you, Divya, for that beautiful introduction. And I was just looking forward for this meet, as you are the TMOD and we'll have something unique as usual. So anyway, good morning, Toastmasters and dear guests and Toastmasters from other clubs as well. This is Kavita Kamath, a member of Bangalore Toastmasters. I have released my podcast recently on 31st December 2021. And let me just share a few things with you. This particular podcast, the desire arose because basically I was, surfing for a couple of podcasts and wanted to do something new and unique. And I was following Ranveer Alabadia, who is my doctor's son in Mumbai. He has started this podcast in the year 2019 and has a very unique style of doing it. So this arose that kind of desire into me, and I started this podcast. So my learnings from this podcast, and before I go ahead, let me introduce to you my speaker, Akshita Baliga, who's a dietitian and a nutritionist. Akshita, could you just, in a few lines, introduce yourself to today's, meet?
Good morning, everyone. Frankly saying, never have I ever attended a meeting like this, although it's always been my desire. Okay, I am a nutritionist and a dietitian. So I take up consultation on all health issues. And I have been doing this online since the time this quarantine is there and all this. So I handle patients who are having diabetes, thyroid, PCOD, and various health issues. And majorly people are here for weight loss.
Thank you, Anshita, for that crisp introduction of yours. So let me now dive into the podcast. Podcasts are a great way to build genuine connection with your audience. Instead of the fractured connection you make through social media, podcast allows you to engage your audience with a unique long-term content. So podcasts are more convenient than blog posts. People can listen to podcasts while driving, working out, or just doing chores around the house. As most of us we're at home, we can enjoy the podcast shows. Things to be taken care before the release of a podcast. We need to create a compelling content, which is very important. Whether you have experience or you're new to this media, you always need to plan. A goal without a plan is just a wish. It was a wish of mine, which I brought it to be in the true form. Planning is very important. It ensures you that you're not running to find guests or think of a new topic to discuss at the last minute. I truly believe scripting something is important. So when you script your podcast, create a brief intro that you will use at the beginning of your podcast. Introduce your topic to the audience. If you want your podcast to be formal and conversational, there's no necessity to script everything. You just need to draft an outlining with key points. As with any speech, even at Toastmasters, you make sure each segment has an opening, body, and conclusion with smooth transition between each. In a podcast, you need tools and equipments to start with. The basic tools, even without anything to spend on, is the basic tools would be, I would say, a microphone, a recording device, might be a laptop, and a recording editing software, a headphone, and a camera if it is a video podcast. So as the theme was New Year resolution, and my host was Akshita Baliga, whom I chose as a nutritionist and dietitian, I created my own podcast. As I already mentioned, I had always followed Ranveer in the shows of podcasts. He's the first independent creator from India to sign an exclusive deal with audio streaming platform Spotify. Ranveer Alabadia has touched a plethora of topics like career guidance, fitness tips, lifestyle choices, and even many more through his shows. I always like to be a host and select the interview podcasting, which is my forte. So did I. I had an interview session about how we could reach our goals in the New Year resolutions. And I released my podcast, which is on Bangalore Toastmasters Adda today morning. You can all have a look at it and enjoy it, I would say. There are more learnings to do, and I'm sure I should get better on this. But this is only through experience. My gratitude on this journey of releasing my podcast is to Toastmaster Lizzle. Can I have him spotlighted if he's here today? I'm sure he's in. I have requested him to be here. Toastmaster Lizzle, who has technically helped me and helped me a long way to release my podcast. Thank you, Toastmaster Lizzle, for this tough journey for me. If you wouldn't have been there, it would have been really difficult to release this. Thank you. And Toastmaster Sharmila Sagar, who I think is not present today, but I would really appreciate her. She has taken, she's helped me a lot with my script. And also I would thank Toastmaster Sunita, who's the president of Bangalore Toastmasters, who has encouraged us to get better and better, and always try to, try to add on something new to our bucket list. So thank you, Toastmaster Sunita and Toastmaster Lizzle, and also Toastmaster Sharmila for have been besides me to launch this podcast. So now coming to a glimpse of my podcast, which I released recently. This is your host, Kavita, and let's jumpstart on our journey to the New Year's resolution 2022. My dream of podcast, which has come up true. And here I have a few questions for Akshita, just to have that feel of interviewing you, Akshita, which we have already done. But there's the first question for you. What food should we eat to be healthy, Akshita? Over to you.
See, basically, healthy foods are the ones that you get directly from nature, not the ones that have a barcode on them or which come, packed in a box or a plastic or a tin or anything like that. So it is just the way nature gives it to you. So you will never find a barcode on a bunch of palak or when you buy 1 kg of apple, and there are no nutrition facts on it. Okay, so this is how you identify a healthy food. Okay, everything that is unhealthy will be having a barcode, will be in a packet, will be advertised to you, okay, by a celebrity. So that is my take on it. And I feel we should include whole grains, not refined grains, include fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, oils, ghee in our diet.
Thank you, Akshita. And I would like to ask you a last question. Which food helps us to build the immunity, as that is very important currently?
Yes, very much. See, India being a land of spices, okay, so we need to include pepper, cinnamon, cloves, okay, tej patta or lemongrass, all this. We can make it into a beautiful concoction or a kashaya, as we say, and you drink it warm. Include turmeric because it has a curcumin in it. Include all the spices. Even in your food, you need to include these. These are great for immunity boosting. And I think we should not switch on to the bland form of eating. Okay. Include more of this in your sabzis or in whatever you're making. It's great for your health.
Thank you, Akshita. That was a glimpse for you all about my podcast with Akshita Baliga. And for more to know, I have already released it on Adda. And thank you, Akshita, for have given that valuable time of yours. And thank you, Divya, for helping me to, allow me to have this podcast today and making other members to know what a podcast is. And I hope it was helpful to all the members. I'm sure to look forward for more releases on podcasts from MTMers. Thank you once again. Thank you, Akshita.
Thank you so much for making our lives easy, Kavita, because you somehow helped us get over that initial glitch about how do we start, where do we start. With that, Kavita, you ran away without answering my question. Somebody please spotlight Kavita. My question to you is, what is that never have I ever on your list?
never I have ever. I was just thinking, there's so many on the on the list, but I think I have ever smoked.
Now, I don't know how many people to ask this question. Not many people would actually answer this one. So people who have done it, that, never have ever. But is there something you want to do? My question to you is, would you want to do it?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't love to smoke anyways.
Maybe something what you want to do.
Okay. What I want to do is, I would like to, go across the online meets in Toastmasters. This year, I want to at least make it 50 meets all over, 50 meets all over, not in India as well. I mean, around the world. We have so many Toastmasters around, this beautiful platform which we have. So I want to venture it and attend at least 50 because I've turned 50 this year. So let me have that 50 again on my checklist.
That's an interesting list. I think I know a Toastmaster who did that in our district. She attended all the 143 countries last year.
Oh, that's
maybe you could
great.
get in touch with her
Sure.
for sure.
Thank you.
With that, the voting links, guys, please make sure that you are voting on the link that's set by Ranjani. It's for the best table topic speaker. The options are given. Please vote before Fiona takes over the segment. And Akshita, I really wanted to ask you the question, never have I ever. You answered it during your segment itself. Thank you for that. And before I hand it over to Fiona, can you tell me what is your never have I ever moment?
For me, I think never have I ever said no to the president. Please don't look at Sunita, ma'am.
Any president, right? Like any president. So all the future presidents, bear in mind, your go-to person, you don't find anyone.
But on a serious note, never have I ever stepped foot in an amusement park. I don't know how to swim, so I've never even gone in or seen anywhere. Not that I want to do it, but just for the sake of saying.
Never have ever.
Yeah.
So let me ask everybody out here, who are the ones who have been to an amusement park and would like to coax Fiona saying, it's not that difficult. It's not that. This Kavita, so you know where you need to take Fiona next time to amusement park.
You don't have to learn swimming to go to amusement park.
Too scared of the water.
Yeah, the easy way to deal with it is to tell Fiona, come on, we're going to the amusement park. She never says no to the president.
You got your answer there. Nice. So the president will tell it and you will follow it. So with this, I hand over the segment to Fiona. But to the other role players, the tag team, please be ready with your never have I ever. I'll be asking this question after Fiona finishes the segment.
Thank you, DTM Divyashree. I will be conducting the evaluation session. So I call upon the thank you DTM Anita for finishing your evaluation of DTM Bosco earlier since he had to leave early. That was a very crisp evaluation. Thank you for that. Now I call upon Toastmaster KVM Kishore to evaluate Toastmaster, sorry, I forgot who was the second speaker, Benzita. Toastmaster Benzita's speech, if she can also be spotlighted, it would be good. Over to you, Toastmaster Kishore.
Thank you, dear General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and Toastmaster Benzita in particular. Benzita, just like your name has Benz in it, your speech has class to it and amazing, beautiful way of presenting an eulogy. The things that I really love about this speech is the way it had a twist in the very beginning, that because everybody gets into the mood of an eulogy that probably you're going to talk about a person, but it turns out to be a library, and that's a great twist. People are more comfortable and more happy to listen to it. And another interesting thing, I don't know if it was meant to be or it was accidental, you were dressed in black, so it also added a little more color to the eulogy. Well, and I must talk about the beautiful descriptions you had in your speech, whether it's about those, calm, closed corners or the corridors or the books and all of that. It brought the library to life in the eulogy, I must say. So a brilliantly crafted speech, and the structure was amazing. It had a smooth flow from the beginning towards the end. A couple of things that I would want you to consider. The first one being a very important aspect of delivering a speech like this, or a eulogy or anything, is to make people realize, learn more about the person or the aspect than talk about the features of it. What I exactly mean to say is, we call this define it. So when we tend to give speeches like this, we often talk about, oh, there were these beautiful things that happened. There were all those beautiful things, all those charismatic things, all those. Instead of saying this, if you tell us one beautiful thing, one charismatic thing, one example, then that would actually go back as a memory with the listeners. So define it. For example, in your case, probably I would have talked about how I spent a day sitting in one corner reading Ayn Rand, almost like having a conversation with her and over a sip of coffee, what I learned from that conversation. Then probably people would connect to, yeah, I had read this Huckleberry Finn or something, and how. So giving those examples would be much more important. And one more aspect that I would like you to consider is talking about what we are going to miss over what is lost. So saying that, okay, this is lost, or this library is no more, these books are not going to be there anymore, is okay. When you talk about what you are going to miss, you would never go back and sit and have this time for yourself reading this. Will make it more personal to me. So those are the two aspects that I would suggest for you to consider. But otherwise, I think it's a lovely eulogy that you have given. Definitely makes me think a lot about all these ebooks and other versions that have come up, that have definitely given away, that those little joys of opening a fresh book and having a good smell of the pages and all those things. Got back so many good memories. Thank you, Benzita, for the wonderful speech. Thank you, Bangalore Toastmasters, for giving me this opportunity. And it has been a pleasure to do this evaluation. And back to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kishore. That was a wonderful evaluation, a detailed evaluation of Toastmaster Benzita's speech. I now hand over to Toastmaster Jyothi Hebbar to evaluate Toastmaster Bhavishya's icebreaker.
Thank you, Fiona.
Jyothi,
thank you, Fiona. I am audible?
No, there is
You
too
are
much
audible, ma'am, but we can't see you, and also there is disturbance.
Because I am, if I start my video, my connection is getting a little bit.
No, Jyothi, you need not be on video, but there is too much of noise. We can't hear you. Yeah. You need to do something about it. Fiona, can we just go ahead with the R counter and then give Jyothi some time to rectify the problem?
Sure. Sunita, just a suggestion. Jyothi sounds always better without the headphone. You can ask her to remove the headphone.
Okay, I'll message her directly. Yeah, let's just go ahead with the R counter.
Now?
Yes, Jyothi. Okay.
Yes. Now, whether disturbance is there?
Jyothi, there's still some sound. Can you manage without your headphones? Can you? Perhaps the quality would be better.
I'm trying both ways. Now?
There is still too much of disturbance. Yes, it's okay now.
Now it is fine?
Yes. Yeah. Jyothi, we'll give you a little time to rectify it. And in the meantime, we will go ahead with the R counter. Just try and see what you can do about it, okay? Right. Fiona, go ahead with the R counter till then.
Yeah, all right. So thank you. I think that the timer has given the report during the in between each of the segments. Thank you, Toastmaster Ashwin, for doing a wonderful job. Now I call upon the R counter, Toastmaster Shobha, to give us the R counter report.
As we all know that my role is to find out the long R pauses in a sentence and the sentence when there's stammering in a sentence. So I have recorded some of the R's which are used by the speakers today in today's meeting. Toastmaster Divyashree has repeated our word 10 times. there was a stammering in between a sentence and a word A is repeated twice or thrice. As desired by all of us, a perfect speech which doesn't have been shared, that there was no R used by our first speaker, DTM Bosco, and our second speaker, Toastmaster Benzita. There was a 0 R in both the speakers. Third speaker, that is Toastmaster Bhavishya, A and how word, there was a pause in between. School word, when she was speaking that word school, there was a break in between. A and R, there was a pause. And you should, there was a repeat on that word. She has repeated that word, you should. So that was what I have observed in her speech. Toastmaster Anita, and a little, there was a stammering. And again, this word is repeated. Toastmaster Princita, once, and a word A is repeated. Toastmaster Shraddha, and is repeated twice. Akshata, and repeated, and a word A is repeated. Elwin, is repeated, and there was a word, and again repeated 4 times. Toastmaster Ranjani, word is repeated, and again it was repeated 4 times by Toastmaster Ranjani. Toastmaster Kavita has repeated the word for 3 or 4 times, and then
Toastmaster Shobha?
The word help me and help is repeated. Toastmaster EVM Kishore, there was a pause, and again this word is repeated 30 times. Then that word is repeated. Miss and loss, there was a pause in a sentence. Okay, that's all. So over to the TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shobha, for comprehensively giving us the report of including the guests. And Toastmaster Kishore closed his eyes when you said 30 hours, but I can assure you that I didn't hear any of them. I'm not sure. Like it was.
I thought, let me be precise in my work. Yeah. I shouldn't say, but then.
Right. Okay. So thank you very much, Toastmaster Shobha. Toastmaster Jyothi, are you ready?
I just want that. Thank you.
Fiona, go ahead with the grammarian.
Toastmaster Jyothi is not ready.
Yeah, just go ahead with the grammarians.
All right. So now I call the grammarian, Toastmaster Francis Pinto, to give us the report.
It's my pleasure to know that so many of you use the word desire. Desire to achieve Divya, desiring to go to the Himalayas, Jyothi, desire to organize the game, Bhavishya, desiring for more. I desire to see an accomplished speaker. Desire arose, Kavita. Never have I ever at a meeting like this, though I have always desired to attend one. That was Akshata. I hope I have included everyone. Have I left out anybody? I hope not. Anyway, the improper use of some words where the pronunciation of them was wrong was eulogy. Eulogy. It is pronounced eulogy. Mom would like to tell like, that is, mom said or mom would like whatever she told. It's not whatever she told, it's whatever she said. Desire into me. Now, a desire is always there, it's always into you, so you don't say desire into me, I desired. It's understood that you are wanting to do something. And charismatic is pronounced charismatic. I don't know the way the speaker pronounced it, but I cannot repeat it that way, but the pronunciation is charismatic. There were beautiful usages of words by many speakers. I've noted some of them. Bosco sir gave a very nice it was very picturesque with the birds, with the meditation, with the forest, with the hermit, with the blind hermit. And even his style, it was very, very picturesque language, which was beautiful to listen to. Benzita, of course, always takes us on a different take. And it was lovely about the library, the Granthalaya, and eternity standing the test of time. Bhavya, a good listener. Jyothi, a fitness freak. Anita, interest and attention, creative. I desire to see you an accomplished speaker, was Anita. Fiona, I liked your, whatever, your biodata, your Spotify, or your aura, your cat, whatever, very different. Shraddha, on the cockroaches and put in his shoes, and why you couldn't understand why the flying dragon didn't cause so much anxiety as the flying cockroach. Akshata, goosebumps. Goosebumps was the word she used. Elvin, I like the way the duck and the gorilla foxed you, whether it was duck or gorilla, or who was bigger or who was smaller. Anyway, it was good. I suppose you are new and you didn't know the time limit was 2 minutes, but it would have been exciting to know what you would have done in those 2 minutes with the use of words. Kavita, unique, long time content, scripting something. That was a very good usage. Kim Kishore was a twist in the beginning, the smell of pages. Healthy boosting, that was said by someone. So with these, I have the good words, and I hope that those who have yet to speak will still use the word desire. Over to you.
Thank you for the wonderful report, Toastmaster Frana. I now call upon Toastmaster Jyothi to evaluate Toastmaster Bhavishya's icebreaker.
Thank you, Fiona. I'm audible now.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Thank you. Sorry for inconvenience, and again I'm back with Bhavishya's evaluation. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. The first step towards getting somewhere is to decide you are not going to stay where you are. And Bhavishya, congratulations, taking your first big step. You gave a very nice introduction of yourself. You started with your innocent and sweet childhood memories, precious memories with your sisters and your doll. Your introduction was very catchy. You started with quotes, that is super beginning. Bhavishya, you engaged audience with interesting and well constructed content. Your spoken language is clear and easily understood. Flow of speech was good. Transition was smooth. And you also concluded your speech with quotes, and hence it is a very, very well organized speech. Bhavishya, you use the literacy device very well, but one suggestion I want to give, that try using the dramatic device of pauses at suitable points. Without pauses, sometimes our speech appears like reading, not as delivering. Hence, pay attention to that aspect. Then one of the disadvantage of online meeting is limited effect of eye contact and body language. And I'm sure you will achieve it as soon as our offline meeting starts in future. Once again, congratulations on a job well done. Ensure that you will use pause device and some vocal modulation in your speech whenever it is necessary. And all the best, and looking forward to more great speeches from you, Bhavishya. Thank you, Fiona.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jyothi, for the very nice evaluation of Toastmaster Bhavishya, and congratulations to Toastmaster Bhavishya on completing your icebreaker. Now I will go ahead with the G's report, but before that, do we have to go ahead with the voting for the best evaluator? Toastmaster Sunita? You're on mute, ma'am.
Yeah, I think Ranjani will put the
Fine.
Yeah, the link on the chat. Yeah.
All right, fine. Okay. So thank you. I will go ahead with my report now. The meeting started on time at 7:15. However, we seem to be running late. It's already 9 o'clock. I'm not sure where the time got overconsumed. It's something we should take care of. We received 3 messages today with the SAA, with the president, and with the prayer, which was very nice. 3 different messages to go on. A huge round of applause for DTM Divyashree for conducting the meeting so well. This meeting was not just about Never Have I Ever, but it was also about personal achievements. She made sure that the theme was evident throughout the meeting by asking all of the role takers the questions. I desire to be as good a TMOD as Divya someday. Congratulations, Divya. Job very well done. All the role takers were introduced at the beginning of the meeting, and I believe most of them kept to the time. So I'm not sure where the time got overconsumed. The chat was used liberally to encourage the speakers and to speak about everyone's opinions. Thank you very much for using the chat. A job well done by the table topic master, Toastmaster Princita. Fresh, quirky, and innovative topics. Congratulations to all those who took part. It was nice to change things up a bit and have Miss Akshata Baliga and Toastmaster Kavita talk about the podcast. A little different from the regular speech style that we normally have. I felt that this meeting went on relatively smoothly, although I myself got logged out twice. But I think we're growing accustomed to the glitches of having an online meeting, but we don't get flustered as often. Thank you to behind the scenes, Toastmaster Praveen for the photographs and Toastmaster Ranjani for the Google Forms. That's it. It was nice that also that we were flexible enough to have DTM Bosco's evaluation earlier because he had to leave early. It's quite encouraging because I think that we can allow people to take up roles even if they have to leave early for whatever work that they have. All in all, a meeting very well conducted, and that's the end of my report. Back to the TMOD. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fiona. Thank you for your insights on the whole meeting. By the time everybody finishes off with the voting and the tallying is done, I will ask the tag team the question that has been popped around with everyone. Never, ever, ever. Can the timer, our counter, and the grammarian be pinned for a minute? Okay. So I'm just filling in the time what Ranjani would require to tally the votes. And is it done, Ranjani, from your end? It's done. Can you please tell me your never, ever, ever moment? Then the certificates are being ready then. What is that never, ever, ever done that you wish to do?
Asking me, Divya?
Yes, Ranjani. Yes, Ranjani. What is that one thing that you have not done because of any reason and what you desire to do?
Yes. I love nature very much. I like traveling too. And my son is back from Simla today morning. And I was dreaming that I will see the Himalayas very soon. Like Jyothi said, I want to visit the Himalayas, not for meditation and all, to enjoy the beauty of the nature. Thank you.
So, Jyothi, you found a partner for yourself for a Himalayan trip.
Yes.
Thank you, Ranjani. Yes, Frana, what would be your thing on your never have I ever list?
My never have I ever list would be whitewater rafting. I don't know, somehow I'm, fascinated by how people can go down the river in that way, with the carefree and I suppose a beautiful way to watch nature and the ups and downs of it all. And just getting into those rapids somehow seems to fascinate me. For those of you who want to visit the Himalayas as I did and actually got a chance to do so, there is something called the Buddha Airlines, which takes you as close as you want to go to the Himalayas without actually climbing the peak. So I wanted to do it very much, but my husband thought that I would get lost in the Himalayas or the plane would crash. And so he never permitted me to do that wish. And to this day, I regret never have ever done it, because I will never do it again or never go there again as per how I am now. So for those of you who want to get to the Himalayas, at least do it through the Buddha Airlines, where they will show you the peaks and you can fly in that small aircraft. It takes only 4 passengers and as close as you can get to the Himalayas without actually exercising yourself.
Thank you, Frana. You've given us not only your never have I ever list, but also you've told others how to achieve their items on their list. Thank you so much. With this, I hand it over to the president. Just on a signing off note, we've all have our accomplishments, but we've all want something to achieve. And when we share things with others through our communication or through any medium, we somehow come up with the solutions and ways to achieve them. With that, wishing you a very happy day, and go to the president.
Yeah, thank you, Divya. We've had quite a marathon run today, so I'll quickly go to what you all want to hear. The results first. So the Best Speaker Award, is the screen visible to everyone? Yes, okay. So the Best Speaker Award goes to Toastmaster Bhavishya Kotian. Great, Bhavishya. High motivation for you to keep on speaking. The Best Table Topic Speaker Award goes to, I'm sorry, it says Toastmaster Akshita Baliga, but we hope she will join us as a Toastmaster. Congratulations, Akshita. And the Best Evaluator Award goes to DTM KVM Kishore from We Speak Toastmasters. And the Best Role Taker Award goes to DTM Divyashree Gatti for taking us through a very enjoyable meeting on a very novel idea. Thank you, Divyashree.